everybody.
There's that hard-hitting Joe Dugman.
I hit hard on the ball machine. That's about it.
It don't talk back as much. That's a nice thing about them all. But the ball keeps coming. It keeps coming back though.
How you doing?
Great, Joe. How you doing? Good to see you.
Well, thanks. How's everybody else?
Good.
Good.
Good, good. How you doing, Jim Hunt?
I'm doing good, Joe. How are you?
Doing well.
Voted
Doing well.
Vote yet?
I did. I voted today.
How long do you have to wait?
Not long. I went to the Howard School building.
You probably the only one there.
No, I waited maybe 10 minutes in line.
Wow.
Wow.
They had a lot of staff there, and it was pretty quick.
They had the Belmead commissioners on there, didn't they?
No, were they supposed to?
You better been on there. There's another candidate down there, Haley, getting on here. She's got there she is. She's going.
I said something to the election commissioner about leaving your name off, but they said, well, it was just one of those things.
Well, that's all right.
We're among celebrity here.
If you voted for Haley, then that was all. You throw a rock and hit her house. You better vote for her. She'll throw a rock back at you.
I think my lawnmower has hit her house a few times.
I got my green screen up. I got to put something up there.
There you go.
Well, that's not. That's
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 when I
not
was,
real life.
well, that's when I was in the Virgin Islands.
Where's
Left it as I found it. The Virgin Islands.
Mhm.
Got a lot of laughs from that.
Yeah. I thought you were checking your trot lines on that pond behind you there, Mayor.
That was a beautiful restaurant, and that was all those ships that were in there from. That was before the coronavirus. I'll tell you that.
Okay.
Let's put a background up here. Let's see.
Where's the water?
I'll just use this one.
Hey, Lyle.
Hello, Joe. How are you?
I'm good. See, Gloria's here, Chris is here, and Haley's here. Well, I think we're all here.
And Pete's here.
Pete's here. Where is Pete? I'm looking for him on my.
He's in front of that
There he is. Yeah. Hey, Pete.
nice painting.
Whenever you're ready, Mr. Chairman.
I'm ready. I'm ready. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the October 20th, 2020 meeting of the Board of Zoning Appeals. I'm Joe Dugman, joined by our members today, Pete Zabasky, our Vice Chairman, Gloria Sternberg, Chris Tardio, Haley Dale, and is Johnny Phipps here? He was supposed to be, but not. Guess he's not. Don't think he's here. Anyhow, you're going to be served. We're also being served tonight by Lyle Patterson, our city building inspector, Doug Berry, our legal counsel, Edie Glacier, our city recorder, and our mayor, Jim Hunt, who's president. There are 4 applications on the agenda this evening. Each applicant is here because a request for a building permit has been denied, and they're here to appeal. It's the responsibility of this board to hear your appeal and determine if there's a compelling reason that would allow this board to grant your request, while at the same time protecting the intent and integrity of the city ordinances. The board can only hear what's been published. Other items that come up not included in the notice cannot be considered. If the board grants an approval, it will be specific to your request. Our procedures of the evening will be as follows. The city manager, Lyle Patterson, will, building inspector will introduce each item. The applicant or their representative may present their appeal, and when doing so, please introduce yourself for the record. There'll be a time for the board to ask questions, and then we can solicit any comments from anyone in attendance. Anybody in attendance, please introduce yourself. I'll close off the discussion from the public, and the board members will deliberate in open forum. Each board member will then, any board member will then file a motion, and a second is necessary, and the entire board will vote, requiring a majority for it to be granted. The decisions of the board are as follows. If it's granted, we'll ask you to remove your yard sign within and get a permit within a year. If your appeal is denied, we ask if you remove your yard sign. If it's deferred, we ask you to keep your yard sign up. As a board, we've each familiarized ourselves with each application and review the submitted materials. I'll now ask any board members if there is a conflict of interest. Not hearing any conflict, I'll also say that we have a quorum. Let me ask one more time. Is Johnny Phipps present? If not,
No, we have a quorum. That would be 6.
right. We have a quorum. So, Mr. Patterson, I think we're ready to call the first item of business.
Okay, I'm going to ask everybody if they would to speak clearly directly in your microphone. We're trying a transcribe service tonight. Hopefully that'll help us with the minutes going forward. Do you have approval of the minutes already, Mr. Chairman?
No, there were some questions about the minutes and they were given back to Edie. I think she's working on some changes.
Okay.
So let's wait till the end of the meeting and discuss that with her.
Okay, first item under new business, the application of Jerry Hancock, 213 Paddock Lane, for a variance permitting the construction of a new single-family home. They are actually asking for a 60-day deferral.
Okay, then is there a motion to defer this for 60 days?
I'll make a motion to defer it for 60 days.
Gloria made the motion. Haley is
Second.
seconded the motion. Chris?
Aye.
Haley is, Haley, you've seconded it. I assume you're aye.
Aye. Yes.
Pete Zabasky?
Aye.
And I approve as well. So motion's deferred for 60 days. Okay,
Second item under new business is the application of St. George's Episcopal Church, 4715 Harding Road, for a special exception extending the temporary use intent for worship services. The building permit has been denied for the following reason. Under Appendix A, churches and schools, construction and alteration require BZA approval. Staff recommends approval.
is someone here on behalf of the church?
I am Martha Rhodes. I'm on staff at St. George's.
Welcome.
Thank you. I'm back. I don't even remember when we put this tent up, maybe July, but we're asking to extend this use of the tent through the end of January. And it's been a huge benefit to us, and others have actually used it as well. Our average Sunday attendance has gone from 20 inside to 120 under the tent, where people can spread out and feel more secure. Our youth group uses it at night. Our preschool uses it. Last night as I left work, the Boy Scouts were using it for something they were doing. So that's the request, to extend it through the end of January, having it down before February 1st.
Thank you. Is anyone in the public here and from the public that wants to speak or make any comment? Okay. If not, then I'll close off the public session and have the board discuss it. Anybody have any thoughts?
I just have one question. When it gets cold, are y'all putting sides on this thing?
We've discussed that.
I mean, will it be, because that would kind of change.
It kind of makes it indoors then, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. So that was my only question.
So that is not our plan. Our plan is to, if we have inclement weather, which occurred some even with thunderstorms in the summer, we move inside, but most of the people don't come then. And at the end, by the time January ends, our Legacy Hall will be open and we'll be able to have a big indoor space that's more
Okay.
user-friendly for people to stay spread out. So no, we don't have any plans at the time to put any sides on there. I think we're just going to encourage people. They sit outside at the Titans games. They can sit outside in the tent. But we'll see. That's our-
Thank you. That was Gloria, by the way, Edie.
Well, maybe you should have a big screen TV in there during the Titans game.
Not a bad idea.
I'll make a motion to approve as submitted.
Is there a second?
I'll second it. Uh-oh,
Now, who seconded it? Gloria?
Gloria.
Or who? I didn't catch the second.
Gloria.
Yeah, Gloria did.
Okay, so, Pete, I assume you're an aye,
I'm an aye.
and Gloria,
Aye.
Chris,
Aye.
Haley,
Aye.
and I vote aye as well. I think it's really a good thing.
Thank you. Very much appreciated.
Next item under new business is the application of Sarah Perry, 311 Sunnyside Drive, for conditional use permitting construction of a swimming pool and pool cabana. The building permit has been denied for the following reasons. Swimming pools require BZA approval. Pool cabana requires BZA approval. Staff recommends approval. And I'm going to share my screen with you. Whoever is up, please go ahead and start.
This is Scott Dismukes with Firma Landscape Architecture and Planning Studio. I'm representing, is that loud? Do you want me talking now or?
Yes.
Okay. What we are asking, I guess it's conditional approval, is for the pool and a pool house. The heavy dashed red line is the building setback line. And then you can see the pool sits right in line with an existing courtyard that's going to be redone. Currently, there is a patio. There's a few different patio spaces. We're reworking the backyard. And then the highlighted area that Lyle just did is a pool house, which is roughly 17 feet by 17 feet. It's closed on the back side, on the side facing Malone Place. This actually sits down a little bit because there is a existing retaining wall to plan left of that structure. That's about 3 feet off the backside of that structure. That retaining wall is roughly 3 feet tall at that point. So this is sitting down. The overall height of this, I think we are showing at, we have elevations, which we can show is around 17 feet. And then there is a brick fireplace on that back side. And the brick would match the house brick, which is a sort of Tudor color brick. And it's just some simple square columns on the front. So the front, you're looking at the front, there's these two columns, the pyramid roof with the fireplace beyond. And then what you're seeing inside is the fireplace with a mantle and then just a couple counters. To the right of that is the rear side that would be facing Malone Street. But again, you really won't see any of this from Malone because it's set very far back from the street. And then the side elevations below. So I'm happy to answer any questions on that. There were some other drawings, but that's the gist of it. The only other one you might show would be the planting plan.
Where's that, Scott?
I think it's go to the fifth page, maybe. You can zoom in on that.
Okay.
So I just wanted to give them a sense of Malone Street's to the left, or Malone Place is to the left. all those circles right next to it is existing vegetation that we plan to keep. And then you come over, that building setback's 120 feet. There is that existing wall. This sort of kidney bean looking shape is the extent of some grading work that we will be doing to rebuild, to dig out and rebuild the wall. There is if you zoom in a little bit more, Lyle, please.
Can't, that's it.
Oh, okay. There is an existing, I don't know, Lyle, if you can point it out, but there's an existing wall that curves around at the top side of the pool and comes across.
We're talking about here.
Yes. Yeah. Well, that's not a wall. That's the extent of the grading, but below that is a faint gray line
Okay.
that's curving right where starting at the Shays Lounges. Yeah. And then it curves around and goes back out towards Malone Street.
I'm at here.
That's it.
Okay.
That's an existing wall that we plan to take out and then push it back to where we're showing that wall and rebuild it to create more room for the pool deck and planting around the pool. So that is why there's that kidney bean shape is the extent of the grading revisions that we would be making just to tie back into that wall. And we have an elevation of that wall as well on one of the drawings.
Same sheet, Scott, or a different one?
Different sheet. I thought there was an elevation. Oh, I guess.
It's on the elevation sheet with the pool cabana.
Oh, sorry, the pool cabana sheet. Yeah, so to that longer brick wall, that leader above it, from there to the right is the existing brick wall, and from there to going left would be the rebuilt wall. So it's not a very tall wall. It would match the existing brick wall that's there. And then this shorter wall is behind the cabana that's rebuilt in the same alignment as the current wall behind not the cabana, behind the pool house. We're just
I'm sorry, can
relocating.
I stop you? I'm so lost. I don't know if everyone else is too. You're pointing at your screen, but then we can't tell what you're pointing at. So
Okay.
the wall that you're talking about, I understand from the Shays Lounges over, you're going to relocate to another area.
Yeah, basically the
That's not really an issue. The issue,
Okay.
Okay.
which is not an issue, they've
Okay.
got a barrier to protect the pool. You can see here, it's a 6-foot tall metal fence. That other wall is really not an issue.
Okay, all right.
Okay, so that was just good information, but we don't need it. Is that
Okay, I'm
right,
sorry.
Lyle?
Yeah.
Right.
No, it's okay. I was just trying to make sure I understood where you were coming. I got it. Okay.
So the last element is this fence, I guess, that Lyle is speaking to, and the neighbor to plant the top of this plan, that existing neighbor, there's actually a partial fence along the property line now that's for, I believe, their pool. So we might tie into that, but this is the layout that we had come up with for the fence enclosure to meet Belmead's requirements.
Chris, Joe Duggan here. I see the pool pad for the equipment. I mean, the pool equipment pad. And will that be, you've got an existing wall there, will that remain?
That wall will remain.
So the pool equipment will be behind the wall, is that correct?
Correct. It's below. That's about a 3-foot grade change from the house. In that little area where the pool pad is, you step up about 3 feet where that wall is.
So Scott, this area here is 3 feet lower than this area out here.
Correct.
Okay.
Was there anything with the gates and or fencing that we needed to look at, or no, Lyle?
On this side, on the left side of the house, no. On this side, you're supposed to go over to the property line, but they didn't want to do that. They want to go just straight back and preserve the green space over here.
Mm-hmm.
So
So they want to come back and reconnect to the opposite corner,
well, they're going straight back and
right?
over and tying back into the house over here. And it's, I mean, I prefer it that way myself.
Well, I don't disagree, but is there a reason? So on, do we have to get property line? Aren't you technically supposed to on both sides?
No, not when there's a street over here, Malone.
Oh,
You
yeah, okay,
approach
I
on
got
the
you.
street and you have to go straight back.
Got it.
Chris, do you have anybody else there that's going to make any comments or statements for your presentation?
It's Scott.
I'm
It's
sorry.
Scott. That's
Scott,
okay.
excuse me.
Not unless Sarah Perry, the owner, wants to make any comments.
I'm happy to make any comments. You know, I feel like we've tried to maintain the look of the home with incorporating this pool plan. But nothing, I don't have anything further.
Okay,
I
thank you.
have it.
Go right ahead, Pete.
That fence going back on the right-hand side, back to the back property line. You know, that, I like that too, but it really does require board approval. Something I think might be changed by the, you know, by the commissioners. But at this point, as the code reads, that should be noted and approved. I'm not sure it's a non-issue, and if Doug wants to approve it, then, you know, he can approve it, but just looking at it, it's a violation of codes.
Well, I mean, this board can't approve things that violate code, and Lyle can, and Lyle's obligated to enforce the code, so. It's not a variance request, so I would say it's got to be enforced. The code's got.
Well, yeah, if it was just noted, then we could vote on it, but it wasn't noted in the application.
I feel like I saw, but I could be mistaken. I feel like I saw on their application that they noted it on their application. It may not be on our agenda. Somebody check me on that, but I believe it said, no, what would I have been looking at?
Well, it says associated fencing.
Thank you.
Associated fencing and grading.
Is that, I mean, I feel like that's,
That's what we were inferring by that note, but I understand if that's not written correctly.
Well, that's good for me. I don't have a problem with that language. I'm glad Haley saw that because it's not on our agenda, and that's what I was referring to.
I actually noticed the same thing, Pete, but I did see it on their application. So I do feel like,
Yeah,
for me, that's okay to vote on. So
I agree.
Anybody else on behalf of the applicant? If not, we'll close off the public portion and have the board discuss this. Board members, what do you say?
Looks good to me.
Hey,
looks
Lyle,
good.
did you give us your recommendation?
Recommend.
Thank you. Pete, you want to make a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve as submitted.
Is there a second?
I'll
Haley
say-
Dale, second.
Okay. Chris Tardio,
Looks good to me. Aye.
Gloria,
Aye.
and I vote aye as well. So motion passes by unanimous consent. Thank you.
Thank
we-
you.
Do we need to add something about the fencing? No.
No,
Was
it's
it-
on the
well-
application.
No.
Since it
I
was
think
on the
it's just-
application. It was.
It was
submitted?
approved as submitted. Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's probably good to clarify for the minutes. So
What's
Next
hold on a second. Are you suggesting that you need the minutes, it needs to be something part of the motion because it's not in the motion? I'm not sure I understood what you
Well, that was
just.
the question since it wasn't on the agenda, but it was in the application.
Right.
Did we have to add something to the motion? No.
Doug?
I don't think so. I think you're fine.
Okay, thank you.
Next item is the application of Michael Schlossler, I'm sorry, 229 Deer Park Circle for a variance to install a generator. The building permit has been denied for the following reason. The generator is outside the building envelope. Staff does not recommend.
Good evening. My name is Charlie Rankin. I'm the architect working with the Mr. Schlosser on a renovation project that's primarily interior to the house. Along with the project, they requested a generator to be located on the site. The address is 229 Deer Park Circle. And like a lot of the lots over there on Deer Park Circle, this is a smaller lot at only 24,000 square feet. So on the plan that Lyle has pulled up there, you can see the building envelope is just that grayed out area there in the center. So, you know, again, like a lot of the lots there on Deer Park Circle, it's a fairly impractical building envelope for the size of the house that's on there. And didn't really leave us a legitimate option to put the generator inside the building envelope. I've noted two possible locations where the generator could be located. Generator location 1 is on the back right corner of the house there. That's the location that we're requesting. As you can see, it is outside of the building envelope. Generator location 2 is noted as being really what is the only viable option within the building envelope to place the generator. You know, our issue with placing it there, as noted there on the plan, there's an existing Japanese maple there, very mature tree. And if you reference the images that I included in the submittal, that tree is probably 20, 25 feet tall, a nice, you know, mature tree that would have to come down in order to put the generator there. In addition to that, you know, part of this interior renovations that we're doing, renovating this sort of back family room, great room area, installing, you know, floor to ceiling windows on either side of that new fireplace. You know, obviously the generator would sort of be sitting right in the line of sight out of that window. I would say the other sort of detriment to that location is that is a more open side yard. They have the driveway that sort of comes down the side of the house there. And that is sort of an open lawn area where the generator would be, you know, quite exposed in the yard. Generator location 1, however, even though it is outside of our building envelope, you know, we feel like it's in a little bit more conducive location for equipment to be placed. There is already equipment in that right side yard. The existing air conditioner condensing units are there. The grinder pump is over there. It's just sort of set up as a little bit more typically the utility side of the house. I'd also like to highlight sort of that gold line there on that along the property line. There is a 6-foot tall wood privacy fence. And again, you know, if we have a chance to look at the images that I included in the submittal, you'll see that's a fairly heavily planted area over there that offers some good screening from the neighbor's house. So if you can pull that up, you can see the front view of the house. Where our generator location is on the right side, and you can see already there's some mechanical equipment located along that side. That bottom right picture there, you can see the 6-foot tall privacy fence. You can see the foliage of the trees and plantings along that property line that help to screen that view. And then that page just shows that Japanese maple that would have to come out to place the generator there. Part of what's driving, the limited area available for that generator is it has to be located 5 feet from any window, which eliminates pretty much every other spot in that corner, which is really the only place inside the building envelope. So our request is to be able to put it in that back right corner noted variance location or generator location 1 on that plan. But happy to answer questions, or I know that Ms. Kavanaugh, Carrie Kavanaugh, and homeowners on the line, if she has anything that she'd like to add, happy for her to do that as well.
I have a question. How far is that? That's a beautiful tree. How far is it from the not the side of the house that faces the rear? How far is it from that wall?
From the generator location 1, the proposed.
Where you want to put it? Yeah.
Where we want to put it over to the
Sorry,
fence.
no. I'm sorry. I'm staying corrected. It's generator location 2.
Okay.
How far is that maple tree from that wall that faces the rear of the house?
It faces the rear of the house. The trunk is about 3 feet off of that back wall, and then the side wall where the new window will be placed, it's about 7 feet. The trunk of that tree is about 7 feet from that wall.
So are you putting a window in that wall? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, and if we could go back to those images real quick, I can kind of give you a sense for what's changed, what's there and what's changing. So you can see that there's a fireplace there. We're actually replacing the fireplace, and you can see there's 3 sort of high sill windows on either side of that fireplace. Those are being replaced by a larger double hung window, about 7 feet tall, 3.5 feet wide, double hung window on either side of a fireplace.
But that wall that faces the back, are you putting a window in there?
Oh, no, we're not adding a window to that.
And how big is that generator?
The specs on it are included in the submittal. Lyle, if you've got that to pull up, I've got it right here. The unit itself is 71 inches long, 32 inches deep, 37 inches tall. So it's accurately reflected dimensionally on that plan that we were looking at previously.
And how far away from the wall does it have to sit?
That unit has to be 18 inches away from the wall, 5 feet away from the closest window.
Okay. Well, why can't you accomplish that on that rear wall and not bother the tree? Because it's going to be setting up above ground, isn't it?
No, it sits on the ground, and maybe this answers the question. I mean, we could prune it up, but just any foliage that would be over a generator like that wouldn't survive, for one thing. And honestly, just the size of that unit is going to get into that tree just to place it there as well.
That generator is only going to be running a few days a year, probably, maybe as many as a dozen, but it's not like it's running in the, all summer or all winter. Is it really going to damage that tree?
Lyle, if we could switch back over to that floor plan or the site plan that shows. So that generator, the red box, I don't know if we can zoom in any closer, but the red box that's indicated on the plan there is the size of the generator. And again, it has to be 5 feet away from that window where I'm indicating sort of the view shed coming out of that window. That's located, as far away from that window as we can get without extending beyond that little side include what was probably the original sun porch to this house that has at one point been enclosed. So there's just really not the footprint available to place it right there without cutting down the maple tree.
I have a question,
Sure.
Ms. Gloria. Is it possible to move it? Well, it would be toward the other corner of the rear in that, still in the building envelope, but in that little, yes, out there.
So there is a window, there's windows to the right and left of that fireplace. So we'd have the
Yeah.
same issue with locating
But
it there.
off the next little jut
So
out
off of
the-
that is a porch, and if we could switch over to the landscape plan, to locate it in that area would just be like right in the middle of their lawn and on such a small, the rendered plan. So this is the landscape proposal from Dayrick. So to place it off of that porch, like the intention is to place a fire pit, sort of communal patio area, access through some stepping stones out in that lawn area. So to locate the generator along there, again, it's just sort of sitting right in the middle of an open lawn and right off of their entertaining porch.
Mr. Rankin, Joe
Charlie,
Duggan here.
Sorry.
Go right ahead, Gloria.
Oh, that was
Or who
somebody
It
else.
was Haley. It was Haley, but I can wait. Go ahead, Joe.
I'm confused about your belief that the generator will interfere with the tree, because the generator is not going to go on the ground, is it? It's laying on top of the ground, correct?
Well, they would pour a concrete slab and set the generator on top of that slab.
Right, but it's not going to affect the tree roots.
But just given where that trunk of the tree is, there's just not, and the requirement that it's 18 inches off of that wall and 5 feet away from that window that's to the right of the fireplace on the outside. There's just not footprint there. We would be getting into the trunk of the tree.
What do you
Saying
mean
nothing
getting
about
into
the
the trunk?
roots. Do what?
I don't understand what you mean getting into the trunk of the tree.
The tree just occupies the area where the generator needs to sit.
I mean, the tree trunk is not very wide, is it? The diameter is what?
Probably, it's not. I mean, it's, probably 4 to 6 inches, something like that.
Yeah, okay. I'm having a hard time understanding how it would affect the tree.
Can we go back to the image?
I mean, it's plenty of room to the right of that tree.
Right. Well, I mean, it would be a tight fit, and looking at those branches, I mean, they'd probably have to trim off, the bottom 6 feet or so. Those two, those two lower branches to the right.
What's the height of the generator?
32 inches.
I mean, those tree branches are higher than 32 inches.
Right. Well, for sure, the lower one would have to come off, potentially the one right above that.
Well, that's not going to kill the tree. Pruning a tree is not going to kill it, is it?
No, I mean, I'm not a tree expert, but I don't think it would hurt the tree to trim off the bottom 2 branches.
Is Wade here? I wondered if.
I don't think he's on the call today. No. I think
Okay,
the
I just
other
wondered-
issue coming up with that side is, again, just the need, their desire to have that as sort of an entertaining area there. Less than desirable to have a generator sort of sitting a few feet off of your entertaining terrace. But
So, Charlie, I'm totally respectful of that, except that it doesn't make the best case for why we should like permit them to violate one of the ordinances, you know, like I would love to come to one of these parties and I guess I would hate to look at a generator while I was there. But at the same time, it's not the best reason for why we should violate, you know, just because they want to have a party and not look at the generator. It doesn't seem like the best reasoning. So I'm wondering if you put a wall, Lyle, could you go back to the, I guess the aerial view of the, yeah, and zoom in there. I wonder if, okay, so let's go to, I'm pointing against, see, I do this too. Right above where it says generator location 2, right there. Did you put any thought into maybe putting some type of wall and plantings that direction that would stay in the building envelope and allow you to put the generator behind there? And you could honestly do plantings then on the other side of that generator to hide it from view on either side, really, and still allow for entertaining.
Yeah, I mean, I think that gives us a little bit more breathing room to the Japanese maple for sure. It's a possibility.
I think so. I have relocated a Japanese maple before and it did really well, but I'm just not sure. That's why I wish Wade was here, because I'm sort of how do you have I know the homeowners on the call, like, did they plant the maple?
I believe it was there before they moved in.
We
Okay.
did not. Yeah, it was pre-existing.
Okay. I mean, I'm definitely sensitive to the beauty of a Japanese maple, but it doesn't have the same tree preservation qualities that, you know, like an old oak that's 200 years old carries with it. So I'm trying to get to, like, I wouldn't want you to move it or kill it for sure. But I feel like there's so much building envelope right there that it feels, I feel a little bit uncomfortable saying with all of this existing, and I'm moving my finger here, Lyle, if you'll get your little cursor and then just kind of circle around the existing building envelope that's free of building, down, over to the right. Yeah, like, so yeah, so all around there, I feel weird. I feel like somewhere in there, surely we can put this generator. And just a thought.
Charlie, one of the problems also is, and the reason I was going down that road, and I love Haley's idea of a wall, a little wing wall or something there to hide it, is that the location number 1, I'm not real sure that we can approve it. We'll have to talk to the attorney about that if it gets to that point. But that is outside the building envelope, and unless we agree that that lot qualifies as a variance, we have no authority to approve it there. So the first thing we'd have to do is just to make sure that we think that lot qualifies for variance, and then if it does, we have the authority to approve it. And that would be a difficult sell also. But I love Haley's idea of just extending that wall. And
if I could interject, I think, because I discussed with Lyle whether this is a variance or a special exception. I think the case for the variance was a hardship of a building lot where every corner of the house just about is outside of the building envelope, generally trying to place these sort of machines, in disguised areas behind corners of buildings, but and also just the location of that tree, making that a little bit more difficult place to place a generator, potentially causing harm to the tree. So I think that was the argument for it being a hardship and a variance as opposed to, say, a special exception.
Sure, but at the same time, I mean, if you take the house and you kind of like this, it more or less fits within the building envelope, making you know what I'm saying? I just feel a little bit torn, only because, and Charlie, I know this is not your thing with landscaping and you know, I think this is probably sort of an add-on to whatever renovation is happening, and I totally understand that. And I'm sorry to be asking you questions that you may not be prepared to answer, but I feel like I've got these boxwoods on my property that are probably, you know, 80 years old, and it would be tragic to have to build on top of them. But at the same time, they can be moved. I really wish Wade was here. They can be moved. I don't know. I guess it's I guess I can wait until we discuss it as a board. I'm sorry, Mr. Chairman, excuse me.
Are there any other comments from the applicant or his representative? If not, I'm going to close off the public portion and have the board member discuss it. We've discussed it, but is there any more discussion other than what we already said?
Let me, this is Gloria. Let me just say that, yeah, generator location 1, because it is outside the building envelope. It's also very close to the next house. I will say that for anybody here who has a generator, they do make noise and they do run a cycle a day, every day. I don't know if this one does, but I think there is a noise issue compared to the distance to the house off the rear of the house. And that would be a concern as well. I personally, Japanese maples are spectacular and very expensive, I know, to replace. So I'd hate to lose that, but I think, you know, maybe y'all need to go back to the drawing board and see if you can come up with another location. I don't know if it would be an option to defer.
Sounds like this is Chris. I was just gonna say, it sounds like it makes sense maybe to defer this and get a little information from the landscaper and see what the impact on the tree is going to be. But I mean, Pete or Doug or somebody who knows this a lot better than me, is there any way we can? I just don't see this fitting the definition of a variance. Exceptional topographical conditions, and not just a hardship, but peculiar and exceptional hardship. I just don't think it meets that.
Well, yeah, Chris, thank you. This is Joe again. The definition of variance is an extraordinarily unusual shape, size, or topographical features as compared to other properties in the immediate neighborhood. There's nothing about that lot that, in my mind, fits the definition of variance.
And let me just add that as I understand it, we've been through this before, if the applicant decides to put the generator in location 2, he doesn't really need board approval. That is something he can do without coming to the board. So a deferral would only be if he wants to try to sell that lot as a variance, and he could do that right now. I think that's a tough sell based on the definition. I'm not sure if he wanted to put anything taller than a 3-foot wall extending where Haley suggested. They'd probably have to come back for the board for approval of that wall. Is that right, Lyle?
They would. I think that generator is what, Charlie, 32, 34 inches tall?
32 inches tall, yeah.
So a 3-foot wall would hide it. So you're talking about sliding that over to where I'm drawing this green box now and doing a wing wall right here of no more than, how long is that generator?
71 inches.
Okay, so 6-foot wall and then turn 3-4 feet. Put some landscaping in front of that. Is that what y'all are referring to?
Yeah, he'd have to keep it. Will the 6-foot wall qualify as 5 feet from the window?
It's a 3-foot wall, correct?
3-foot wall.
Oh, would that qualify him to be 5 feet away from the window?
Oh, got it.
Or would he need a 6 feet?
Well, that's something he can look into. I mean, we're not here to make that decision for him, are we?
No, I'm just throwing it out for something to consider. But again, if he wants it over 3 feet, he has to come before the board. If he if he, otherwise, you know, he doesn't need to come for the board for the generator location too.
So the question before us right now is, the application is for a variance for location 1. And we don't need approval for location 2. So that's the only issue is, does location 1 qualify?
Would you guys mind if we went back to the landscaping plan just for 1 second for my peace of mind? Mr. Chairman, is that all right with you?
Oh, of course, yes, yeah.
Thank you. Okay, so Lyle, would you mind? Okay, so the new, is all of the new, like the lawn where it says lawn here, is that all new? I'm trying to understand.
That is not new.
Okay, so it's already there.
The lawn is there. What would be new is that fire pit area that you see, stepping stones from the covered porch area, and a new sidewalk that goes from the driveway to the back terrace area that's on the backyard side of that covered porch.
And
Yes,
Lyle, is the building envelope denoted on this plan? Probably not.
Doesn't look like it.
Okay, I just wonder if roughly we could, let's see, on the other elevation, I guess we could see sort of the building envelope proximity with the garage. Okay, yeah, so, okay. And is the fire pit, like, obviously it's not to scale, but roughly where on this elevation? Here.
Yeah, right there at the corner. Yeah, the setbacks.
And so for me, even, and I'm not trying to make things more complicated, but for me personally, it makes more sense to go outside the building envelope to the rear versus the side near that neighbor. So I guess,
Well, let's get back to the
Yeah.
application. The application is for a variance to put the generator in location 1. That's what the application is about.
I would make a motion to deny the application as submitted.
Pete Zabasky, motion to deny. Is there a second?
I second. This is Chris. I don't, and I'm not sure if we need to put it into the record, but I don't think it meets the definition or the categories of variance that Joe read a minute ago.
No, I agree with you. I think that should be part of the record, that it does not meet the qualifications of the variance. Pete, you want to amend your motion to that effect?
Yes. I move to deny it based on it not meeting the definition of variance.
Chris, did you second that?
Yes, I second.
Gloria?
Aye.
Haley?
Aye.
And I vote aye as well. Okay.
All right, thank you.
Thank you very much, Charlie. And Lyle, there were several comments that were regarding the minutes of the last meeting. There's several comments we made regarding minutes, and I haven't seen a revised version of them. Did I miss that, or have anybody seen that? Edie, are you here?
Edie does not have microphone or camera.
Okay. Well, I don't believe she sent around a revised version. So let's defer. Is the motion to defer the minutes until, or do we need a motion for that reason? I don't think we do, actually. We just don't have any minutes in front of us to vote.
Mr. Chairman, hold on just a second. Okay. Per Beth, we need to discuss the changes on those minutes. Express what the changes are.
I haven't seen them.
This is Gloria. I had one that was on the Ortel event, just.
Is it, I'm sorry, guys, is this October or September?
September.
September.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, oh my God. See what homeschool does to my brain? Okay, I'm on.
She just used the word evasive, and I think it was supposed to be invasive.
And Pete made a suggestion as well.
Yes, I did. For the last application, the application to Kevin Sharp, the board discussions, that didn't, I talked to, Edie and I exchanged some emails and we're in agreement. She's going to make some language change where right now it says, Chris Tardio, what are we weighing this against? And I said, special exception. I reminded her of that conversation and she went back and looked, so she's making changes.
And I made a suggestion as well. I wanted to make sure that the record properly reflected that the approval of the Ortel swimming pool was a unusual set of circumstances going back to the 1986 or 88, whenever it was. And I wanted to make sure that was reflected in the record properly, and she is going to make those changes as well. So that pretty much sums up. We don't have any revised changes yet, so we can't vote on anything. Is that okay, Beth?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, this is, I think Edie needs to make those changes that you all have requested, and then you should just defer the minutes until next month, and then you can read the changes, make sure you agree with them, and then approve the minutes.
Okay, thank you. Is there a motion to defer the September meeting minutes?
I'll make a motion, Ms. Gloria, to defer the September minutes till the next meeting.
Is there a second?
Second, Haley Dale.
Chris, in favor?
Yes, aye.
Pete, in favor?
Aye.
And I vote aye as well. Okay. Any other further discussion? It's happy hour time.
Now you're talking.
Is there a motion to adjourn?
Make a motion to adjourn.
A second?
I'll second it. It's Gloria.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Thank you all. Take care. Be safe.
Good luck in the
Thank you.
election, Haley and Jeff.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks, Joe. See y'all.
Thank you.